Hello, my friends. So I welcome you in the love and in the light of the one infinite creator. And in today's session, I have channeled the Galactic Federation in order to find about the mysteries of the Ark ships and also the mysteries of, what they are used for. And they have also discussed about the mothership concept and about graduation and how were they used prior to this, in a past timeline, and what is the significance of these Ark ships is all discussed in this session. And then the other thing that they have talked about is about what is the real reason why Elon Musk is now part of the Twitter board. Okay, like Twitter is a big social media platform and many people use it, and Elon Musk recently has become a member of the board of Twitter, so he has some important role to play in that. And also there is a hidden agenda behind it, so you will find out about that in this session as discussed and described by the Galactic Federation. And other thing that they talk about is they talk about how we have two types of brains. Okay, normally we think that we have only one brain, but the Galactic Federation said that we have two brains, and the second brain is influencing the first brain. So this is really a fascinating concept, and I found it really interesting to know about all of these stuffs. And the other thing that they have talked about is about how the Ark ships were used in a past timeline in a different planet, and what happens when the Ark ships are activated, when the Arks are activated, and then what happens if the mothership comes to Earth. All of this is explained in the session. And this session, I think if this thing happens, right, if the Ark ships are completely activated, and they said that there is only a certain chance that they will be activated at a certain type of situation. So just imagine, if the Ark ships are completely activated, then there will be a major event around the world. And if this happens, get ready to fall off your chair, or get ready to blow your mind away, because this stuff is out of the world. And before I start the session, I want to say a big thank you to all of you for liking the video, and it helps to reach out to people who need it. So here is the session, my friends. Enjoy it.
We are the Galactic Federation now, communicating through this instrument's vibration from our location in the Saturn Council. We, the Galactic Federation, are now communicating through this instrument to provide guidance to the human collective consciousness regarding certain queries which are in the mind-space projection of this instrument. And before we start this communication, we would request every one of you who shall receive this transmission to judge our thought forms using your own inner consciousness, thereby only accepting those thought forms which resonate deeply with your inner heart, and leave behind those which do not resonate with your inner self. The queries which have been placed today by this instrument include the understanding of the so-called Ark ships which have been embedded upon your Earth's planetary sphere. Prior to the understanding of the Ark ships and the works that they are created to perform, each one of you must understand the historical significance of how the Ark ships came into existence. This occurred at the period wherein there was a Martian civilization conflict between the people who were spiritually aligned and those people who were influenced by negative forces, which led to the destruction of the Martian planet. During the destruction of the Martian planet, the so-called guardians of the Martian planet at that time, which consisted of the Elohim collective and the councils of various other planetary spheres, which formed the guardians of this galaxy at the time, created a mothership which was used to extract the Martian souls who were of a positive nature without having to cross over, and these Martian souls, without needing the ability to cross over and reincarnate again, were taken aboard the mothership of the Guardians, and the seeding of the Earth planet happened around a period of 75,000 years ago by combining the souls from the second density Earth planets who had received graduation and had achieved a vibration of self-awareness worthy of learning the lessons of third density consciousness. And this was combined with the souls extracted from the Martian planet who were genetically modified 75,000 years ago. And these guardians, they were the seeders of the Earth planet who created third density human physical vehicles similar to that which can be found currently. The genetic changes that were made upon the human collective consciousness included a much more active brain and a much more activated left portion of the brain known as the analytical mind, which was created by the guardians in order to allow the discernment facility to have a higher impact upon the evolutionary cycle of the Earth planet. Since the Guardians had learned that the planetary spheres such as Mars and Earth could be destroyed again, they had created various stations known as the Arks ships, which were created by disassembling the mothership which had been used to extract the souls from Mars to Earth. And these pieces of the puzzle, which joined together to form the large mothership, have been embedded inside various places upon your planetary sphere. And these places includes the North and the South Pole, the equator, the center of your planetary sphere, the Pacific Oceans, and the Indian Ocean, wherein these Ark ships have been located. One of the Ark ships is also located in the lands known as by your people as the United States, Ukraine, and the others in the lands known as Australia. These pieces have been placed in such locations because if the need, or if again the planet moves towards destruction, these Ark ships would be activated under the guidance of the Guardians or the Council of Planets who are currently guarding your planetary system. And these Guardians would then be able to activate the Ark ships pieces. However, the Ark ships are protected by a seal known as the 1111 Love Light Vibration Protection Shield, which can be penetrated and activated by beings only from the 6th density consciousness, which require a pure form of thought form and love and light exposure to reactivate. This works in terms of different pieces of the puzzle or different parts of the mothership being activated, and then they will be assembled outside the planetary sphere. If these Ark ships were to activate at this time, you will see a large number of otherworldly ships arriving and surrounding your planet. This will create the so-called mothership, and then the extraction of the people of your planet of positive orientation will occur. This will lead to the next cycle of graduation to start on the planetary sphere, and your Earth planet would enter into the next vibratory rhythm. However, this type of process is an unnatural graduation process, since this type of graduation is not recommended by the Council of Planets and by other beings. This is the reason why there is a strong quarantine around your planet Earth. And currently, because of the situations which have activated a spiraling of negative energy around the places known as Ukraine and Russia, these Ark ships are slowly activating. However, we as the Galactic Federation can also sense that there is no need for the full activation of the Ark ships at the current time, because the full activation of the Ark ship can only be performed if there is 100% necessity for the extraction of the souls from the Earth planets. Because the Seeders of the Earth planet and the Guardians, they created a way to not allow the complete destruction of the Earth planet. If the people of your planet decide to choose the negative pathway, then the Ark ships will be completely activated and extracting those of a positive nature, forcing the graduation of the planet to end completely and allowing those entities of a positive vibration to be shifted to a fourth density planet. However, as far as we can scan, there is no need for such a process to happen at this time, since the major portion of the Earth planet is currently in the beginning stages of fourth density, and there is a limited number of negative sources who are trying to create negative infusions upon the planet. Therefore, there is no need to worry about the coming of the full activation of the Ark ships in the future, as all is in the positive cycle as can be sensed by us. We as the Galactic Federation would also like to state that there are many people upon the Earth planet who are working and are assisting the negative entities. Furthermore, the other query which has been placed by this instrument pertains to an entity referred to in your vibration sequence terms as Elon Musk, who has recently taken a part in the technological advancements of your planetary sphere and has formed a part of a group known as the Twitter boards of directors as known by this instrument. Hence the query which pertains to, is there any agenda behind these entities joining the so-called Twitter board? In this aspect, we must state that the agenda is that of slowly inculcating control and slowly taking over the major portions of technological devices and technological platforms which have a high impact and high influence upon the planetary sphere. This will allow a large number of information and data to be transmitted to the Orion Collective and to the other gray entities who are working alongside with the so-called entity known as Elon Musk for the purpose of finding out souls who are of a certain type. These souls primarily include those souls who have extraordinary abilities and also those souls who have a rare blood type known as the Rh negative. And other abilities and qualities will be dissected and the data will be used for performing abductions as we can sense their plan. However, we can also sense that the entity known as Elon is primarily unconsciously guided by these entities and is yet not aware of their types of plans that is being played out through this entity. If this entity known as Elon were to become conscious of its unconscious patterns and thought forms, it will be able to perform its task of being a wanderer in the positive direction. Therefore, we as the Galactic Federation would like to share that this is their main objective, and besides that, we can also sense that these negative entities have transmitted a large number of artificial intelligence codes to the entity known as Elon Musk, who can use these codes to create machines or artificial intelligent robots similar to that of the human beings on the Earth planet, and then these can be used to manipulate the human collective consciousness and transmit the consciousness from the Orion Collective inside these robots, which can then affect the whole planetary cycle. Furthermore, we as the Galactic Federation would like to answer the other query which pertains to any of the aspects of ascension which can be applied at this time. We must state that the people of your planet are unaware that there are two portions of your brain or two portions of your mind which are currently activated. The primary brain, which many of your people identify as the brain which is located in the cranium, and then there is the second brain, which is formed primarily by the three lower energy centers, the red ray, the orange ray, and the yellow ray. These primary lower energy centers form the second brain, which influence the first or the primary brain based upon the emotional nature of thought forms and the emotional signature which is held within these energy centers. The primary red ray, the orange ray, and the yellow ray energy centers are primarily activated by many of your people during their normal activities, and emotions are stored inside these centers, which then affect your primary brain. Based upon the types of combinations of activation of these centers, the thought forms will be activated and created inside the brain of the primary portion, leading to different types of thought forms and vibrations being activated. Hence, we would recommend the people of your planet who are serious about ascension to be conscious of the types of thought forms and vibrations being held in these lower energy centers, and then become conscious to choose the types of thought forms which would aid you in your ascension. We as the Galactic Federation now disconnect in the love and light of the one creator. See you later. Bye.
Hello my friends, so I hope you have enjoyed the session, and in this session, primarily they discussed about the Arks ships. What they said was like, these were planted by the seeders, okay, or the guardians who were responsible for taking souls from Mars, because Mars was in a conflict and Mars was destroyed. So they took the remaining souls from Mars, and then they took the souls to our planet, right? They transported the souls to Earth, and then they used the Ark ships, which I think are pieces of a mothership. So just imagine a mothership is a big ship which can be used to extract souls, to teleport them or to transfer them from one planet to the other. The Ark ships are like pieces of the same ship which are embedded inside the planet, and then once they're activated, they can be combined together into a big mothership, and then they can take the souls to a different location if they want to. Now only what they said is this will only happen if the situation of planet Earth becomes extremely negative, but turns out at this time the current planetary vibration is in the positive, so there is no need to worry about that the Ark ships will be completely activated. It's not like that. And the other thing that they said was like these Arks, they are in several locations in our planet. They were embedded by the guardians. When they came to Earth 75,000 years ago with the souls from Mars, they wanted to make sure that this doesn't happen again, and hence they planted the Arks around the Earth, so that whenever required they can be activated and the mothership can be created, so that they don't want to waste time destroying souls. I think that's what they want. They want to preserve the evolution of souls, and then what they want to do is if the situation gets really bad, they want to extract the souls and then take them to the next planet, and then it will be like a force graduation kind of thing, wherein everyone will be forced to either they will graduate or they will not graduate. So it's that kind of stuff which is explained in this session, which I found really interesting. And this what they said was also happened in Mars prior to this, right? The guardians or the council who was responsible for protecting Mars took the souls from Mars in the mothership, and then they placed it over here on Earth with some genetic changes. So this one was one of the things that I found really fascinating. And the other thing they said is Elon Musk, currently has a stake in Twitter, and I think the reason why he is interested in this is because he's working for, unconsciously, working for the negative entities. And what this said is he's trying to collect information or data from people who have special abilities, who have a special blood type known as the Rh negative blood type, so that they can I think they want to abduct those people and then maybe extract the genes and do some experimentation That's what they said in this session, okay, which I found really scary. And also, like, if this is true, then I think Elon Musk, must know about this, because they said that Elon Musk is unconscious, right? Like, he is unconsciously being used. So let's make him conscious if we can, right? The other thing is about how we have true brains, and what they said is like our three chakras, right? The red ray, the orange ray, and the yellow ray. They are the three energy centers. These are the this is the second brain. So this is the primary brain, and this is the second brain. And the type of emotions, the type of vibrations you hold in this brain will affect this primary brain. And I think I've noticed that happen in my life as well. So we need to be conscious of the types of vibrations we are holding in this location. And the other thing they said is like one of the things is, if we become conscious, we can choose the type of vibration we want to hold in this area, right? And then the influence will be a positive type. So this is what they said in the session. And I also want to say a big thank you to all of you for watching the video and liking the video, and also for supporting me on my Patreon channel, where I am uploading content almost on a daily basis, and I share content which cannot be shared on YouTube. And the other thing that I want to say is big thank you to all of you for sending past life requests to my email, which is over here. And then I want to say big thank you to all of you for watching the next video, which you may find interesting over here. So thank you so much, my friends.